This is Super Sass Bros with Corey and Jade. Let's jump in. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Super Sass Bros. We are, back with no guests this week, but we are going to have a guest in a couple weeks, actually. So super exciting. I want to just say we're going to have the CMO of Hunter.io. So if you're, into data enrichment and the prospecting thing, he's going to be on the podcast in a couple weeks. So that will be super cool. But for today, I think we're going to jump in doing like a little bit of the AI news again that we've kind of done in a bit. So I'll throw it to you, Jay. Do you have anything that you wanted to touch on before I kind of go through a little spree of it?
Yeah, I feel like what's kind of really going on right now is like Nvidia is just dominating like the market cap right now. I think it just reached a $4 trillion valuation, which is like the highest market cap in history,
Oh my
was what I
God.
read. So yeah, they're doing the thing, obviously, very well. Another thing too
Jeez.
is like this whole TikTok ban that's kind of like going on in the US. Not really AI related, but tech related. What I'm
Yeah.
hearing are rumors that instead of buying actual TikTok, right? ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, is
Yeah.
apparently creating a US version of TikTok, and that's what they're
Oh,
going to be acquiring. These are the rumors that I'm hearing. I'm not sure how true that is. That also doesn't really make much sense to me because there's so much data in the actual application, and if they're going to create a brand new one, either they're migrating a bunch of data over, or I don't know. But the whole premise of it is like just creating these guardrails, right? On the
yeah.
U.S. application for legal purposes, right? So that's kind of like a big one that I heard this week.
Wow.
That's
That's
kind of really it. I've been like hearing rumors about like OpenAI being under like certain scrutiny over certain things, but I feel like that's just like the weekly thing for them. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That one's interesting, the TikTok one, because like the parent company is a Chinese company,
correct,
right? I believe. And
correct.
so it was always a whole thing about like TikTok being banned because like the US didn't want like US data being like hosted or being accessible from a Chinese entity. But I remember watching the TikTok CEO and president or whatever. He was like talking to a bunch of like whatever senators or whoever, and he was just like, "You understand that like the data is being like hosted here," and he's like, "You also realize that there's other companies like other Chinese entities that are not social media ones, but are also hosting like data not here." But they're massively used all across the US. He's like, we've taken like way extra steps than any other company has ever had to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so, yeah, it actually is interesting. I truthfully think it's kind of dumb personally. Like, I don't know if users really care if it's living in the US or in China or what that really
Well,
even
yeah, I
means
don't
for
think I don't
people.
think users would care, but if they're not gonna migrate data over, like I think things like TikTok Shop, which is freaking huge in the US, like can you
Hmm.
imagine being able to like having to start over again? All the businesses that are running a bunch of like products through TikTok Shop, how does that kind of carry over into the US? All
Yeah.
the influencers and like yeah, brand deals, brand ambassadors that are on TikTok Shop that are making a living off this, like that can't start from scratch. So I can't. I'm trying to understand how all of that's going to unfold. So yeah,
Oh,
that was a
the.
weird one. Another thing that I forgot to mention was Mid Journey.
Hmm.
They're like the biggest, or not the biggest, but one of the biggest, like image generation type of AI tools, right?
Yep.
They have now released their first like video generation, which
Oh,
you can
cool.
basically just prompt it with a bunch of images, and then it'll
Yeah.
create a video using those images. Which in my mind, I think that's like super cool because the amount of times I've looked at like a piece of art or a drawing, and like when you're a kid and you kind of see like a little story, like I've seen this in like Bugs Bunny and all those like Teletoon things. This is what I
Yeah.
imagine, right? But for me, I'm like, because I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball Z, if I upload an image of Dragon Ball Z and then it starts to create a whole story out of it, I'm like, man,
Cool.
that's pretty dope.
That is pretty cool. Yeah. So I guess it's kind of like Google's like VO, video generation, but that's super cool. Because when I was doing when we were in LA and I was working on my little like gaming dev like kind of thing, I was
Yeah,
making pictures in Midjourney.
yeah.
For this. So I was like pulling out ideas and like fan art from like a book I really liked, and but at the time they didn't really have any model to turn it into a video.
Right.
But that's pretty cool. I like that. I'll have to give it a shot if it's
Yeah.
available on the free, but we'll see.
Yeah. I haven't used it yet, but I'm excited to use
Cool. Go throw some Dragon Ball Z pictures in there and see if you can come up with something. That'd be sick.
it. Totally.
Yeah. Awesome, man. That's cool. I have a few that popped up. A lot of it's like kind of just like updates on kind of like what's happening in the AI tech world. Nothing like no groundbreaking news. Like I've kind of strayed away from like you said, like OpenAI is like they I think they have like so many litigations going on right now. Like it's everyone and anyone is trying to sue them for something. So
Yeah.
um, that's no different. But there is some like cool things that came out. So let me kind of open some stuff here. Where am I? Okay. So one. So I don't know if you've heard. I think I mentioned in the past, but Perplexity. So they were launching this like new browser called Comet, and it's like an AI first browser. And I
Yeah.
was always interested to see if it was just going to be because we were talking about Cluely. Um, 2 podcasts ago,
Correct.
and how it's just like it's always looking at your kind of your screen, and it can kind of just like tell what you're doing, and it can kind of help you with stuff. So it sounds like this browser is kind of similar in that regard, where there's like basically always like an AI like assistant that's just hanging out while you browse and while you go through websites. But they also talk about this thing called so we call vibe coding, but they call this vibe browsing.
Okay.
Um, and it says, yeah, users can utilize like agentic assistants to vibe browse without interacting directly with any sites using natural language or voice commands. And
Right.
we've talked about this before,
Right.
where it's like our website's going to become like obsolete
Yeah.
because you can just get an AI agent just to go to that website for you,
Right.
right? Like, so
Yeah.
yeah, so
That's super curious. Yeah. I joined the wait list this week to try and check it out.
me
Um,
too, me
yeah.
too.
I'm really curious because we're just talking about like a channel to just communicate with the internet and then just have AI kind of support or superpower us. So I'm really curious
Yeah,
to see what that's going to look like.
yeah. It will be. I think it's rolling out. Like I think the whatever the max or whatever users they get it first, and then I think pro, and then I think free.
Hmm.
So maybe in a couple months we'll be able to get access to it.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm interested in seeing how that is, and then I'm interested to see if Google's going to come back quick with like something in Google Chrome, where Google Chrome's going to just become an AI first like browser, right?
Yeah. 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 It's
I
all
feel like
going
the
in that
infrastructure
direction
is
for
almost
sure.
there.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
cool. Oh, this was a funny one because I feel like we're both like pretty big Apple people now. I know you are. You've lived in the Apple ecosystem for like, your laptops, your phones, I'm sure AirPods and Apple Watches and all this sort of stuff. Like I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Um they've they've kind of like flopped like really hard in the AI game.
Dude, they've
Like
been.
really it's been so bad. Like they
Yeah.
flopped so hard, and even like the people you got a new iPhone like recently, right? And it has like the the Apple Intelligence on it, but apparently
Correct.
it's like there's like some cool stuff, but it's like it's not really there, and it's powered by GPT, but
Dude, it's
like
garbage.
people are
Yeah.
saying it's garbage.
It is
Yeah,
garbage. It is. I mean, it's definitely like levels beyond whatever Siri would do, but Siri was always just terrible. And then Apple Intelligence right now is better than Siri, but it's also like not the best. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, Apple has just absolutely, in my opinion, very opinionated shit the bed when it's come to AI.
yeah,
And I'm not sure why. Like, where, unless they're going to be revealing something crazy with Vision Pro in September, which is what I'm thinking they're doing. They're like putting all their eggs into Vision Pro, which I think would
yeah,
be super cool. They've been in the AR VR space for quite a while, but yeah,
yeah,
with AI right now, yeah, I'm not seeing much. I'm not seeing
dude.
much.
So I think it was last year
Yeah.
at their what's their big conference? It's called like W.
WWDC, that just happened a month ago.
Correct. So the one they did last year,
Yeah.
the whole if you go back to it, their whole thing was like AI this, AI that, like putting all our eggs into this AI basket. And then the one from this year barely talked about it. Like barely talked about it. They
Yeah.
talked about other things. They showed some other new features, a lot of stuff around like the kind of the I
Just the
forget what it was
operating
called, like the
systems.
liquid glass or whatever as
Yeah.
well too, and all that jazz. Like they talked about everything else but it,
Yeah.
essentially. And even just like I think a couple weeks before, a couple weeks after it, sometime around it, their research team published a research paper basically just like trashing LLMs.
Mm.
And there's a few people that went in and like kind of went through the research and they're like, first of all, if this was ever published to like an actual academic journal, it would never be peer reviewed. So
Mm.
it was like very biased and very like,
Was this the one that it was basically saying that artificial intelligence is actually not like intelligent? What it actually is it just knows a bunch of information and there's no like critical thinking
correct.
behind it? Is that what
Yeah.
it was? Yeah, 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 I do
Yes.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So some people were just like, okay, so clearly you just didn't know how to build, the right team to develop an awesome like AI like products for yourself and technology for yourself. And so they kind of just been like shitting the bed on it. But what I think it was last week, they're now sourcing out like OpenAI and other big AI labs to basically do the AI work for them and do like basically they're looking for someone to help them with Siri essentially,
Right.
and make Siri, smart and not
Yeah.
what Siri is right now.
Right.
So yeah, so now they're leaning on. They went from like wanting to build their own team to now they're just going to outsource it essentially.
Interesting. Wow, that's interesting. So they have a
Yeah,
huge market for that. So like what are they doing with that money? Why don't they just and with tariffs coming
yeah.
in and all that, why not just build it in house? I don't know.
Their head
Super
of
weird.
AI just moved to Meta actually to the Super Intelligence Lab.
Oh.
So yeah, so I think they're just like fully outsourcing it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So we'll
totally.
see.
We'll see.
But it was just hilarious. Just a huge tech giant like that just shit in the bed with AI. Like is
Mm,
it's embarrassing, I think.
yeah.
Crazy. Crazy. Okay, I have two more. That's
Okay.
kind of cool. So Google, so we've talked about Google before. They have their DeepMind's research team. There was a spin-off of that team called Isomorphic Lab. I don't know if you've ever
Okay.
heard of them.
Nope.
Okay, so Isomorphic Lab, they're all focused around um, humanity research, like health research, like our own like biological, physiological research. So they're looking for cures essentially to
Okay.
diseases and stuff.
Okay.
And so really cool is recently, I think it was earlier this week. Yeah. Earlier this week, their first fully AI designed cancer drug is going into like human clinical trials for the first time. So
Okay.
something's never reached this point before.
Wow. That's huge.
It's massive.
Yeah.
So like yeah, just like they used what was the AI technology? AlphaFold 3 was the AI system that they
Okay.
call it
Okay.
that came out of DeepMind.
Okay.
And yeah, so this AI developed a fully is fully developed from AI, and it's for I don't know what cancer, but it just says first human clinical trials for AI designed cancer drugs, and the ultimate goal is solving all diseases. That's
Mm,
the goal for them. But just I thought it was really cool. Like this is the first drug designed completely by AI that's going to human trials. Like
mm.
I'm so curious to see how it's going to go because I think that could be like just groundbreaking, and also I think it will make like researchers like rethink how they do research and like what kind of expert they're going to be. So anyways, just something super cool that popped up in then my newsletter this week.
It's
So
definitely super cool. And it also contradicts what Apple just released in terms of their publishing. Like, it sounds like AI can critically think, right? Like, if we're going to say
yeah,
that AI, you know what I mean? That whole research paper. So,
yep,
super interesting.
yeah. So we'll see what that comes like. I know those processes can be long, but I just thought that was super awesome because if like AI was able to find a cure to cancer, like
Yeah.
that's what a headline, right?
Yeah.
What a
Totally.
headline. There's a critical thinking too. Actually, the next one actually I have was also very similar to this. So you know the prisoner's dilemma game, right?
No. What is it?
Okay, so the prison you've probably done it in some class or something like that.
Okay.
But it's basically saying like the prisoner's dilemma's game is like where you basically let's say we both were getting arrested for a crime. If these are the situations, if I was to confess and you were to stay silent, I would get a shorter sentence, you get a longer sentence. If you were to confess and I was to stay silent, you would get the shorter
Shorter
sentence,
sentence.
I would get the longer sentence.
Right.
If we both confess, we both get slightly shorter sentences.
Okay.
Or if we both stay silent, we get even shorter sentences. So, but the whole point of this game is that the best course of action for either of us, and we're not allowed to talk to each other, the best course of action is always for us to confess because it always results in us getting the least amount of time.
Sorry, what I heard was if we both stay silent, then we get an even shorter sentence.
Correct. But if I was to confess, sorry, and that's what I meant to say at the beginning. If I was to confess, I go away free, you go away for long. If you confess, you go away free, and I go away for a long time.
Oh, okay.
So
So
that's why, yeah, yeah.
one
So
of
that's
us
why, like,
confesses, then we're free. Got it. If
correct.
we both
Yeah,
stay silent, we both get sentenced, but for a shorter period of time.
yeah.
Um,
So, yeah,
got it. Okay.
exactly. So the whole point of this game is that, like, that no matter what, especially when we can't communicate with each other about what we're going to say or what we're going to do or not do,
Yeah.
the best course of action is always confessing.
Yeah.
And it's because it's always in the best interest of what is good for me or good for you, right?
Right.
And so chances are usually in a lot of this is that we both end up confessing and we both still end up doing time less than what we would have, but we wouldn't go away for free, right?
Right.
Because we both did what was best for
Each
each
other.
one of us.
Right.
So, anyways, so they did this prisoner's dilemmas test on LLMs. They
Okay.
wanted to understand to see like how would LLMs want strategically think about making this decision, how they would react to knowing other models' decisions, and stuff like that. So, very common psychology game, and they kind of went through this, and it was cool. They went through how many here? 40,000 scenarios of this, and they used OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic as like the main three models that were going through this decision. And basically, what they found is where is it here? Anthropic's Claude tended to be the most forgiving and understanding of other models' decisions, which was
Okay.
like interesting. So what they basically noticed is that each of these models ended up like almost building like a personality for themselves, and which was like an interesting thing that kind of came out of it. And they're like they didn't kind of expect them to have like a personality. Yeah, each of them seemed to have some sort of different strategy as to why they were picking a certain decision.
It almost
So they
sounds
were
like
doing
fight or
some
flight
critical
mode.
thinking.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
almost sounds like fight or flight mode, and they decided which path they want to go down.
yeah, exactly. So it's pretty cool. It said Gemini was the most ruthless, and OpenAI was the most cooperative.
Mm,
So I don't know what that says about the labs themselves, but there you go.
very cool. Very,
Yeah,
very cool.
but yeah, that's kind of the bigger some of the news I kind of saw in my newsletters this week that thought it was worth sharing with everyone. So
Nice.
pretty cool
What
stuff.
newsletters are you subscribed to right now?
So I think I've mentioned this one before. But it's called the Rundown AI, and they also have one called the Rundown Tech.
Okay.
So Rundown AI is obviously AI specific news. Rundown Tech is just like maybe some wider range tech news and
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
And that is the only two that I am subscribed to
Subscribed to?
right now because I think for me that kind of gets everything I usually need.
Nice.
So, and then surprisingly, LinkedIn. LinkedIn's my other news source. So
Yeah.
usually from like the feed or on the LinkedIn news on the side,
Yeah.
I'll usually pick up stuff from there as well.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much everything I had news wise for this week, man. But anything else you want to talk about? How's the week been? Any exciting stuff?
Exciting stuff this week. Week has been good. Let's see. So we got some legal tech going on. I'm not sure if we've even spoken about this,
I don't
but we'll
think
do
we
a
have.
couple updates. So voice AI on the pizza side has been going well. We've been making a lot of improvements to it so that it's basically able to handle mathematics really well. It's able to basically handle tonality, voice, and amplitude really well. And then another one would be kind of understanding every single pizza shop's menu, right? And being able to pull that information from some sort of file system.
Yeah.
And so I think right now with the voice AI stuff, we're looking to have a beta version of it completely done tomorrow, because I know Dash is going to give us that demo tomorrow, and then really start pushing it to market next week. So we'll keep you guys posted on how that goes. We did have a call it like a soft launch a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
but just decided to kind of take it back, kind of like rethink everything and just put a little bit more firepower into it. So that's what we did. And then we have really dove into the legal tech side because a lot of our clients are in the legal tech or in the legal space.
Yep.
So we're like, hey, I think there's something here. Let's really dive into this and understand it a lot more. And we've built a whole new, we'll call it a micro SaaS around it, right? So yeah, so we actually decided on a name today. So stay tuned for that. We'll probably, when that site goes up and live, we will tell you guys the name. Do we buy the domain or not yet?
We got to. It's on the list of things to do. But yeah, so
Okay.
we're gonna get it.
So we're buying the domain today.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, we have I guess our first real demo call on Monday for one of these law firms to get them
Yep.
going. And yeah, I think we've just been kind of crushing it with sales and marketing and making sure we're filling up our pipeline with a bunch of law firms that can come on to the technology. So stay tuned for all of that because we got things rolling and it's running.
We're going, man. And yeah, it was exciting. We brought someone else on to kind of help on the sales and marketing side as well too. So that's been kind of a fun thing for me this week, has been kind of getting him out, Cal onboarded, and just like, hitting the ground running. I love seeing like, when new people are joining the team, and just like literally joining this team is just like hitting the ground running,
Yeah,
because we want everyone to have like impact as soon as possible,
as soon as
right?
possible.
So it's I think it's super cool. And so yeah, I think leaning into this legal tech stuff is it's good. It helps us actually in terms of focus for outreach purposes and such. But also the technology is really cool. So like yeah, we'll do some more updates on it, in the next couple episodes as well. But I think it's super cool. Lots
Super
of
dope.
awesome things are gonna come. So
Super dope. Yeah, guys, cool. Thank you so much for listening in. We are the Super SaaS Bros. Let us know if you guys like that kind of AI digest that we do in the beginning, the length of it, if you think it's too short, too long, things that we're capturing, or if you guys just want us to dive right into our week on what we're building, who we're working with, all that fun stuff. We really appreciate your feedback. We kind of read all the comments and, making sure that we are integrating what everyone says. So yeah, again, really appreciate your feedback. And yeah, we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Please go on there, subscribe, leave us a comment, rating, and review. Don't know what it does, but I think it helps. And we will see you guys next week on the next episode. Thank you so much.
thank you for listening to another episode of Super SaaS Pros with Corey and Jade. We'll see you next time.